Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Arcade Tokens podcast. Of course, we are the Arcade Tokens. I am the anomaly Will Ferro.
Leo Thomas, aka Mr. Slick Living.
I'm Patrick Cloud.
And of course, it has been a week of chaos since the PS5 launch day has came and went. Like I said, some of us have gotten our PlayStations. Some of us are waiting. Some of us are delayed. If you're watching this on the video side, you can determine which one of us are each. Here on the audio side, I think you can kind of feel it in my voice. Whose is who? But yeah, nonetheless, though, the new generation of consoles have finally been released. The PlayStation 5 is now out, as well as the Xbox Series S and the Xbox Series X. And so, of course, all of them have their huge accomplishments. Of course, we're going to start off with PlayStation, going to move into Xbox. But, of course, there's also the cons that we've kind of been hearing. We've been hearing Steam coming at the Xbox. We've been hearing something going on about dead PlayStation. So we're going to be covering all of that today. And, of course, we're also going to get into this Miles Morales controversy. But I want to start off with the PlayStation 5. PlayStation 5 has dropped. There was a crazy panic because people were not getting them. Like, they were like this. Now, of course, like we said, if you're watching the video version, we had an unboxing with Cleo. Cleo has unboxed his PS5. And Cleo, if you could, I'm gonna pass the mic to you. Just let us know, like, since 24 hours of you having the PlayStation 5, where are you right now? How are you sitting?
It's sitting about as tall as my actual PC that takes care of all my streaming. So it is quite tall. It's only about 3 inches shorter than that PC standing straight up. As far as everything internally, you know, I've been doing a lot of game transfers. I'm trying to get some of my favorite games over to the actual PS5. I will say that Sony did take that into consideration as far as figuring out how to link your older console with this new console. So they do recommend you use an Ethernet cable and connect your PS4 to your PS5 that way. And data transfer went from, I saw IGN tweet something out that said that originally if they would have did it through Ethernet, if they would have did it through Wi-Fi, it would have taken 27 hours for people to transfer everything over. When they switched over to the Ethernet cable, it knocked it all the way down to just simply 3 hours.
And
so
this is why I keep telling people stop streaming with Wi-Fi, but no one wants to listen to me. So you can
don't
go
stream
ahead.
with. You need
Who streams with Wi-Fi?
Hey, it happens out of
Wi-Fi.
I went over to help Pat. I think Pat, are you finally streaming with the Ethernet now, or you just every once in a while you jump on the Ethernet?
I be plugging in the Ethernet every now and then.
Every now and then. It's all right. I'm just letting you know. Just letting you know, like it's a real thing for everyone. It is a real. Just because you're watching Netflix on Wi-Fi does not mean it works the same way with uploading and downloading stuff. That's all I'm saying.
Yes. So you want to keep an eye out for that. Transfers. That's all I've really been doing in the first 24 hours. I haven't had the opportunity to really jump into any gameplay, as well as even the screen that I have it set up on. I'm not going to be able to, I feel, enjoy the updated graphics. For instance, I downloaded the new Call of Duty Cold War. And it asked me, do I want to also download the texture pack, which would make things look even more textured? And wow. I looked at the time, I'm like, it's not really going to matter. So I didn't look into it because I know I'm not really going to enjoy it.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, it is.
That's the main thing that I'm looking forward to is the updated graphics.
Listen, but on a monitor in which I'm playing on, it's very small. I would prefer to enjoy that on a major screen, something like in the living room. I would prefer.
What does USPS screwed the wrong person. If I would have got my PlayStation, I would have been down with the texture downloads, all of that. Who gets a PS5 and settles for PS4 graphics?
Right.
This guy.
On the monitor, it would look flawless on the monitor. So just imagine when you went to the TV screen, you're like, holy shit.
Listen,
textures are literally everything.
Right. And you was like, because it's on a monitor. What does that have to do with it being on your PlayStation?
Out of the texture pack. Okay. All I want to actually do is get into some actual gameplay. I think the first game that I will end up streaming that is a PS5 exclusive, obviously, will be the Miles Morales game. So we'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, that's the first game I'm going to actually jump into that is only available on the newest console. But so far, this is where we at, man. And it's a beast. It's a beast. It's not loud. Not loud.
It's not?
So far, I haven't really stress tested it
Didn't
yet.
play the game yet.
Exactly.
Okay.
So.
I mean, but technically, you did play a game, so we wanted to kind of get into that. PlayStation definitely changed the mold. I think, really, it kind of gave the answer to what we've always kind of asked. You know, like Pat Spark has kind of always been that question. It's like, how further can you go with these consoles? And so PlayStation did a very great job at trying to make this experience a lot better and a lot different. I guess this is technically a spoiler. I don't know. But in getting the PlayStation 5, there is a great tutorial that they have created for us to not only learn how to navigate through the PlayStation, but how to use the new PS5 controllers with one of their avatars, Astro Boy. Astro's Playroom is a interactive platformer game that helps you learn how to use your PlayStation controller. And it has to be one of the most creative things I have ever seen.
Cool.
Yes.
It's so cool. I feel like, first of all, somebody went into the PlayStation menu, looked at the avatar, and thought about this concept of using the basic PlayStation avatar as a character in a game that's in your PlayStation. Yes. So it's literally, it takes place within your PlayStation. If you look at the walls, there's all types of outlets, HDMI, Ethernet, control, and then your levels are literally based on parts of the menu. You know, you have one that has to do with memory. It's like Memory Meadows. You have one that's like what was the other one? It was like
the Speedway.
GPU Jungle.
GPU Jungle.
SSD Speedway. Yeah. It was so many. It was like literally if you're a computer tech or a tech nerd, this game is just going to have all your senses heightened, because just like as Pat said in our unboxing video, which you can check out on our YouTube channel for the arcade tokens, you keep looking for all the little details in the game that they have created, and you can't stop looking. It makes you not even want to put in a new game just yet until you explore stuff. Like even like in one of the little things where the Astro has to walk across the tightrope, and it is the controller from the original PlayStation being plugged in. And then you can gain artifacts in this game as well. Like if we watched Cleo do a little bit also in the unboxing, and he was able to get the, I believe what the PlayStation 3 gun that they had once on.
The Vision gun, the sight gun, I think it's called. It was dope. I actually kept playing. I ended up finding the PS2 or PS3 camera and the PS3 Move controller, which was what they put out there. They were trying to go up against the Nintendo Wii at the time. Remember the little ball at the top of that?
Yeah.
So I found those as artifacts already in this game.
And nice.
It's so cool. Like I was really enjoying playing. I found myself legit smiling through playing this game. It was crazy.
Fan service through the roof. Like it would be a dope game if this was your first system, or if you jumped on like PS3, but like if you're like us, like PlayStation fans, I've had every single PlayStation, so it literally, like Cleo said, it makes you smile, because there's like every little you're jumping on little L2 and R2 buttons, you know, like it's literally intricate things like that, and it's such an innovative concept. This is by far probably one of the most intimidating console drops I've ever seen, because I'm always looking forward to the next generation, because it's so cool. Like when GameCube came out, there were the little discs, and you know, like when PlayStation 2 came out, it was like a completely different design than the PS1. Like it's always exciting, but this one was just so like futuristic, even down to like the actual tutorial within when you boot it up, and how you test like the triggers and all that stuff, and how they have it like almost like Tron graphics. It's so dope. Like Xbox has it in for them. Like I would have really wanted to drop first. If I were Xbox.
And just to also add on top of that, just the whole now concept that PlayStation really pays attention to details for gamers, because not only is the game very dope, but also it now kills that stigma of buying like your nephew or a loved one a PlayStation 5 for Christmas, but you don't buy the video game. So like, you remember those times you'll get a Christmas time, you'll open that thing up and it's just like, oh snap, and you don't have anything to play. everything's closed, so you can't go buy a video game until tomorrow. PlayStation remedied that with Astro's Playroom. You get to set up your stuff. You get to enjoy your PlayStation. In case you don't have anything you can get. And I think that was just so dope of PlayStation and put them even further ahead in the console race to be able to pay attention to that type of detail. And for Xbox, it's just it's to the races. And Xbox dropped. Xbox did have a great release. Did very well as far as being able to sell out consoles and everything, but the news is not so much matched as positive like the PS5. It's getting a lot of Trump advertisement, if I would say. So recently there's been two things going on. There's the Steamy box is what they're calling this. No one called it that. I called it that. It's the Steamy box. So apparently this video dropped, and this was one of the first things that people saw that this may be a flaw in the Xbox. But what we have found out is that it's actually not true. This is not caused by the Xbox, but rather some people were making these using vape pens, taking vape pens, blowing it into the Xbox, and allowing the smoke to come out from the top of the box.
Who trolls at their own expense like this? Like, you could have really damaged your brand new Xbox just to taint the Xbox name. Like, I would never buy a PlayStation and then make it seem like, oh, Sony, you messed up. Like,
I don't think you do that to an Xbox, Pat. You just leave it in the box like you did with the Xbox One.
Well, if I bought the Xbox, I for sure I am pranking Xbox with my machine.
Yeah.
But it just shows the brand loyalty, man. PlayStation would never.
That is true.
Do something so disrespectful as this, man. Listen, the visual when it first came across my timeline, I was fooled. I said, yo, there's no way Microsoft let this fly.
I was like, it's over. It's a wrap for Xbox. I was like, yo, this your first thing they talk about?
Imagine Microsoft. They probably saw that video like,
yo, Microsoft literally sent out a tweet and was like, I can't believe we have to say this, but please do not blow vape smoke into your Xbox.
That was in response to a different video, though. That video showed the vape pen clearly, and they were. I saw that video.
They also saw this because this was, I think, that not this video that we're watching currently. For those that's watching the video version, on the audio version, we're watching the actual videos that we've seen with the smoke come out. But I think it was this one that we're currently watching. This was the one they saw.
That's crazy, though.
that big cloud one. Like, when I first saw the video, it made me want to call Kadeem. Like, Kadeem, did Microsoft maybe not use the right paint on the inside of the console? Maybe it's heating up. Is it burnt? Like, I immediately started thinking of that stuff. And then I thought, there's no way they would let
Microsoft. People forget, like, people clown Xbox, but like Microsoft is behind it. And we forget that. Like, it's too much. They specialize in computers. There's no way. I don't even know what would happen in a what is it called? Like a wanky console. I don't even know what would happen in a bad console that would cause that much smoke. It would look like there's like fire.
Literally,
like
it was
wood on fire in there.
No, literally the only way that looked like it would happen, like if the circuit started frying. Like, that's the only way that type of smoke, like literally the inside of the circuits would start being set on fire.
But every time I've seen circuits get fried, it's like a poof.
Well, no, you gotta remember too. Like, if it's
gigantic ass.
If it's that's
bonfire.
if there's something like very combustible in there and it shorts out. Now, if not, there's another one that it'll smolder up and it'll have that type of smoke produced.
Like that, like a campfire, though.
Yeah, it'll have that because it's layered under stuff, so it's just going up. Because that means it's a mild type of circuit fire. Because we've seen that happen with Macs when they overuse them.
Listen, man, don't buy the console just to tweet out stuff. And then, all right, when your Xbox, you can't get a new one because you voided the warranty knowing you just wanted to get some lights off. You're tripping. Here's the one thing I would give Xbox about their release. They hid an Easter egg. We're coming from enjoying Astro's Playroom and seeing little Easter eggs of different
I'm about to say, you didn't talk about the Easter eggs for God of War, though? I was like,
No, hold on. Let me get to it.
Okay.
So Astro's Playroom, there were different little Easter eggs within the actual game that showed, these little robots that look very similar to Astro, reenacting certain scenes from famous PlayStation titles. I ended up finding the God of War one right when I jumped right back on it, and it's Kratos and his son on the boat. So he has the little axe in his hand. It looked really cool. It's actually at the level, Pat, you're talking about with the water. It's in that exact level right there in the beginning.
Oh yeah, is it on the water level that I like?
Right there. I cannot wait for you to find it, man. You're gonna love it.
Oh man, for those
we have all those Easter eggs for Astro's Playroom, but you want to know what Microsoft did with their Xbox? They hid a Master Chief emblem inside the console. Kadeem, if you could find this picture or the quick teardown of the video, show someone opening up the back of this console and finding a Master Chief logo of his helmet in the console. That's what Microsoft did. That's their Easter egg.
That's like the equivalent of like hiding like a little Mario in your amusement park and then finding out about Nintendo World. Like they probably thought they were killing the game with that, because that is cool. Like no other console has done that. Also, Master Chief's emblem.
That's it. Him. Just
also though, inside the Xbox, when am I going to open this thing up to look for that?
Exactly.
That is the real question.
Yeah.
I never ever in my days opened up video game console. Like, let me see what's under the hood.
There could be a Spyro emblem in every PlayStation I've ever owned, and I've never.
There could be a whole Crash Bandicoot like paint drawing of a scene from him in the original PlayStation, and we'd never know.
There it is. Yeah, that's hidden on the backside. You open up 2 screws, and there it. Yep.
So the worst part about this is on the actual PSU, which is the power supply unit. Yeah, you would never want to take this out. You would never want to take this out, though. You would never want to, like, it's the power supply unit. I mean, if you are working on one, that's the first thing you take out. But man,
that's not an Easter egg.
That's not an Easter egg. That's more of a that's just kind of like smart branding for
branding.
That's for tech nerds. That's more of a for the tech people to make them more interested. Like for me as a person, like if I was still working at Apple, that'd be cool for me to see if I'm fixing someone's Xbox. Like, oh,
I kind of wish we didn't have the internet for something like that, because if you would have found that Easter egg 3 years after the Xbox Series X released, it would blow your mind.
Yeah. No, it wouldn't. That's the thing.
If you were a kid and you found out about that, you would want to go and open your console to see it yourself. What is this?
So this was on the Xbox One X. It is Master Chief riding a scorpion. This is on the One X. That's a little bit cooler. That's cooler.
Again, this is not for y'all. That's why this is not for y'all. This is for the folks that go in here and break those things.
At most, I'm a computer programmer. I'm like, let me take apart my Xbox. I pull this part out and I'm like, oh,
that's pretty
Master
cool.
Chief.
No, again, you
most.
No.
Freaking out over this though.
No, people do. People like, yo, like I'm telling, like, for you, no, this would not resonate with you. But like for someone that does tech nerd type of stuff, they love seeing stuff like this. Whenever you got cool emblems to like your processing and graphics card, because you're a nerd. You're a nerd.
I feel like if I was a computer nerd, I want something a little bit deeper than that. Like maybe something that within the Xbox, where if you reprogram, there was like an interactive experience. Like they're used to doing shit like this. I feel like Master Chief's helmet on a hard drive ain't gonna do nothing.
So I'm gonna give you this little quick history on what Xbox did do. That was pretty dope. So what they did to find out if people were pirating games or uploading stuff online, like when they first came out. When you first started the Xbox 360, right? And it had those rings. Mm-hmm. Right? Those rings actually was the serial number on those Xboxes. So they were able to see whose Xbox it was when they uploaded stuff to online.
Wait.
I don't get it.
Hold on. So you said with the Xbox 360 console?
Yes. Remember back in there, the Xbox 360.
Xbox 360 console, it kind of looks like a planet, like a Saturn rings coming around it.
Yeah.
And then the logo would be in the middle.
Yes. So they were able to distinguish whose Xbox it was by how many rings it was and all the like. They were able to see it just by the video, but if it was uploaded online, they were able to see it.
The ones with the power button was right,
Yeah.
where it rotate, yeah.
The physical one? Or are you talking about the ones in the
the digital one? The digital one.
I'm talking about the
actual
startup.
yes. So that
so
was
they
cool.
can tell from the startup screen, not the rings that are physically on the console.
No, I'm talking about from the actual like they were able to tell the serial number by how many rings. You know, kind of like a tree. Like you cut a tree open, you see how many rings it has. You know what I mean? It was like set up.
This.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now we thought what me and Pat thought you were saying was like where you press the power button and you know like how the green rings went around it or like the red ring. I thought you meant it was counting it by that.
No, I'm talking about the actual rings.
How many variations of rings can you have?
I gotta send it. Yeah, if you could put this link up and show them, because I get what you're saying. And if Microsoft was able to significantly give a code to each console within that ring startup screen, that's crazy.
If you could do that, then Master Chief's helmet on the hard drive ain't that much of it. That's not an Easter egg. Like I would resign as the creative director if that was my. If I suggested that and then PlayStation dropped Astro's Playroom, I'd resign for sure.
Okay, the reason I say I can appreciate is because like going to Disneyland and finding out about hidden Mickeys, that comes from the same place with me.
Exactly.
That's to me. That's what that is for the Master Chief helmet inside the console. Mind you, I'm not saying it's that cool compared to what we just got with Astro's Playroom, and I'm definitely not busting open my Xbox Series X to find it.
Hidden Mickey is one of the best series of Easter eggs and one of the most well thought out campaigns of all time. I wouldn't even think of that in the same breath as this. This is.
Don't they come from the same place of thinking, trying to match that?
Well, no, because it's popular. Like Hidden Mickey, anybody would want to go see that. Like again, this was more designed towards tech nerds, and as you can see, like Pat is not like that tech nerd type. So again, this don't appeal to him. Yeah, it don't.
Even like thinking from a tech point of view, I feel like an Easter egg is fan service, like us figuring out like, oh, holy crap, they're playing out a scene from Uncharted, like making PlayStation a universe and then letting you find stuff in there is way more of an Easter egg than like there's an emblem underneath, like.
So what we call it more of an attention to detail then, rather than an Easter egg.
That's actually pretty accurate.
Okay. So we could just say that they did a good job of having an attention to detail rather than it being called an Easter egg.
They put their flagship guy in the console because Master Chief is what makes the Xbox.
Now, see if they
added another flagship. They already had so many, and they just added another one that Will even brought it up. Could have a movie, and that's not just me blowing PlayStation like I always do. Like if you see this game and the simplicity of the character and what he can do, it's really entertaining.
It is. It is very entertaining. So it's like if you have a PlayStation 5, we definitely recommend that you go and check out Astro's Playroom. Do not bypass it because it is a very dope game. You will definitely enjoy watching all the little things from your past of nostalgia with PlayStation from all the way up to the PS5 now. It's something that you want to check out. So Xbox, I don't know. I don't know. I think you may just really have to be sticking with that. You got a higher processing unit for a better experience of play for your video games, but PlayStation right now is giving you a better experience overall with buying this console.
The rough thing is that even if they thought of the idea, they couldn't do it. That's the worst part of Astro's Playroom because there's not a lot of original IP or culture. Like if you made Xbox a world, there'd be Halo,
Gears,
and Gears.
Crazy Taxi. There'd be some, but it's not enough to combat Astro's Playroom.
Crazy Taxi in as the runner-up.
Right? Well, my next one was gonna be Fable, but I was like, I'm gonna shut up.
No, listen, you could jump in a Forza Horizon car and drive around. You can get the Forza popping. Don't sleep on Forza. Listen, I gotta go ahead and say this now. Yeah, this is the rings that I was talking about. They were able to detect. So if people were leaking footage online, they were able to count these rings and figure out whose Xbox 360 it was.
That's dope.
Down their account.
That's
yeah,
dope.
and ban their account, and literally they would be in trouble for obviously leaking information about the Xbox when they put up footage that were not supposed to be out. That's when they first dropped the Xbox 360, which I thought was dope as hell. That's dope.
That is,
Yeah.
that's scary.
That's reverse engineering like humans at that point. Like we know you're gonna do this, so we're gonna go ahead and put a fail safe in. Like that's crazy
Yeah.
thoughts.
That makes me side eye every watermark, everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
That's genius though.
That's pretty
That
cool.
is-
That's some Microsoft shit though.
yeah,
Exactly.
that is
So that's one thing I have to say. I know we're talking about Easter eggs and stuff like that. I'm like, when I heard about this, I'm like, that is dope. That was a cool ass idea for them to pull that off. And I'm getting a Series X first. I'm just let that be known. I'm going Series
Yeah.
X.
That's the one thing that we do not have the ability to have a hands-on, review of so far is this Xbox Series X, man. And
I'm getting one. Don't worry about it.
I've seen it. I've seen it. Like I said, it's the review that I gave. I think would do is what it says best. Machine wise, to play it, the experience of like playing like either like Valhalla or anything on there, you're gonna have a great experience with that on any type of TV or wherever you're at. But PlayStation has beat them more in the overall experience as a whole with PlayStation. Like,
what are they playing though? I mean, just quick, I haven't even seen. What are people playing on the Xbox?
literally the only thing I've seen is Valhalla. Like that's it. And there was another game that came out with Xbox. It was something that was with, I can't remember the name of it, but the only ones like IG's like stories I've seen anyone do is like the Valhalla load up screen or like somebody playing a scene from it.
I know they were pushing Yakuza Like a Dragon, but I know that's out on both consoles. So
There's another one I forgot. It's something on Xbox that they have that came out with it that I think also people are playing. But again, like there's been no real type of like big news when it came to like the Xbox.
Watch Dogs as well.
Watch Dogs,
Watch Dogs Legion. Yeah.
There you have it with that.
All
There you
right.
have it with that, man. I'm sorry. I can literally say like without even having the Xbox. Like I said, I am a fan of both consoles, but PlayStation did a way better job of the feel of what a gamer wants. Because that Xbox controller and that PS5 controller.
And here's what's crazy is like the look is great, and obviously we're gonna get clowned for the console being as big as it is, but I feel like the main thing that they did was something different. And regardless of their execution was crazy, but even if they didn't have crazy execution like that, I feel like now consoles have to think deeper before they drop. You know what I mean? Like that it just has to be a little bit more, because you see the difference between how they were thinking innovative wise between the Master Chief helmet on the thing and then Astro's Playroom. It's just like they were on two completely different, like, oh damn, y'all was doing that, like, and now I feel like even Nintendo is kind of like, well, shit.
Right.
So I feel like console releases are just going to have that extra oomph from now on. That's just what I think.
Well, Cleo, let me ask you, as like you do have the PS5, do you feel satisfied as a video gamer with this new release for at least so far from things that they've given you? Like, yo, even though it is taller, there's a lot more attention to detail that they've given to the consumer wise than just for everybody to enjoy. Like I said, from the controller, from the light illuminating out the PlayStation. Do you feel this has been a more personal game console that is more catered to you than from the past that we've seen with these consoles?
The biggest thing for me was always being worried about backwards compatibility. Kadeem through the years has always figured out ways, if a console wasn't backwards capable, of being able to have those old school games on deck for us. Knowing that as of right now, there's only 11 games out of the entire PlayStation 4 roster that are not compatible with the PS5, that was the biggest selling point for me.
Okay.
I haven't played every single PlayStation 4 game, obviously, but I would love to have that option to, I don't have to go around the world with my old PS4 console to try this game that was once popular on the previous console for me,
Yeah.
So I'm down for everything they've given me with the Sony PlayStation 5, man. I'm only excited for more. They've talked so much about what they plan on unlocking within the PS5 through system updates. Yeah. So there's stuff that this thing can do that they haven't showed us yet. So
wait,
that's
you can do that? There's like updates that make the PlayStation do Different stuff.
According to them, isn't there a fan thing that they're getting ready to talk? They'll do in the next update.
What do you mean?
They said something regarding the PS5 when it's update in the future. They'll be able to cycle off instead of it using both fans, one fan, I believe.
No, well, I mean, when they talk about the build of it, they went with one big fan instead of going with two small fans. So they're just gonna drop a new PS5 Slim is what I was talking about. But yeah, the only thing I can think of off the top of my head is that you can't plug in a hard drive and use that for game storage yet. Obviously that's coming. We all know that's probably coming eventually. But off top, they're not doing that. So
yeah. Well, you know what we know is not coming. As we're getting ready to kind of close out with our last topic, a full version of Miles Morales Spider-Man. As we have been continuing to have figured out before the game release of the new addition to the Spider-Man franchise, we were always wondering and being left in the dark of whether this was going to be a DLC or a sequel to Marvel Spider-Man. And now that it has released along with the PlayStation 5, we have come to find out that this is a 10-hour game, which makes it a DLC style game that they have released for $50.
They made sure to go with the 50. They didn't go full 60.
Wait. Before we start complaining, Will, why don't you let the audience know how much time the original Spider-Man was? Just in case you don't know, 10 hours sounds like a long time.
Cleo does it so much better when he says the time because there's so much disappointment and hatred in like a cocktail when he says it. How many hours, Cleo, was the original Spider-Man?
I want to just give up the actual real number. Give me 2 seconds here because it's bothered me. I knew it. I called it. I said, this isn't going to be a whole game. It's the original Spider-Man PS4, the original Spider-Man that came out. 35 to 40 hours of gameplay.
Here you go.
35 to 40 hours.
4 times longer.
We got 10% of a full game.
Is New York no more crime? You mean to tell me a black Spider-Man doesn't have more problems than Peter Parker?
We are literally fighting in Harlem, and that's it.
Exactly. That's exactly what they did.
You
they
get
kept
one borough.
No, they did not. Well, not a borough. They didn't. You can't go through all of Manhattan.
I think we're jumping the gun, but
I was like the racism. That's why it's 10 hours.
That's all you get to do is play it.
And this, they took away web slinging too. You have to Uber everywhere.
No, Pat. Literally, Pat. They have fast travel now, bro. Like you just out there fast traveling now. Like don't even worry about it.
Yeah,
they have fast travel.
I know. It's just funny to think that.
We don't even have to add things. They really did. I have a theory that this was the last thing that Trump did in office to screw black people. He was just like, you know what?
It's so disheartening, bro. It's so disheartening. I remember what that felt like when we all first saw this trailer premiere. We were all excited. Me, Will, Pat, and Kadeem talked for at least 2 hours strictly about what we could get out of this game. Who would be the new villains introduced? We didn't know anything. Yeah. But then something leaked that had everyone's antenna and radar went up like, is this not a full game? We knew it.
Our spidey senses were tingling.
And they disappointed us with this one, man. Like, I haven't even played the game yet. I am going to play it. But again, I am coming into the gameplay with a little animosity toward it. I wanted a full game. This was a Miles Morales game.
Well, the crazy thing is that the original Spider-Man was a perfect game. Like, it was literally a perfect Spider-Man game. So we would not have cared if this was just DLC. Just charge $20 to $30 and add the DLC. Like, I would have preferred that. But to repackage it, make it significantly less, but still 50, it's just like, it's almost like they went out of their way to do that. And then they're probably going to add more on DLC for money on top of that. So it's just like, you got to pay to be black.
Pretty much. That's what I'm kind of getting the consensus of with this. But also as well, too, what I'm kind of seeing with this may be also dealing with something else. Now the way I'm looking at this more, because you see Spider-Man a lot in this. So what I'm thinking is this next one may have to do, this next installment of the full game may be something either bigger that has to do with the both of them to where you can swap out to play, or they may expand this one into some more DLCs.
No, they're for sure going to do that second one, and we're going to have to pay full price for it on top of a full price DLC. Was that a cat?
That was a cat. Yes, you have that option.
Spider Kitty that stays with you now.
Kitty.
Yeah, I just rewinded it for you, Pat. Let me go ahead and see if I can pause it at the right time. And
Spider Kitty? Is that
Spider Kitty? Yeah, the Spider Kitty. Yeah.
There you go.
Garfield.
Yeah. Rumor is it too that Spider Pig may be in this as well.
Oh,
that's really stupid, but I like it. I like Spider Kitty. That's really dumb.
Yeah, it is dumbly adorable. So
yeah, man. We're gonna still play the game. We're still gonna support, but just having that feeling of not knowing what we're comparing it to. Again, Pat said that was the perfect, in my opinion, that is the perfect superhero game. And I thought the Arkham franchise solidified what it meant to actually make a superhero video game. Nah, Spider-Man went 5 steps ahead of that. And then boom, we get the Miles Morales game. It's 10 hours long. Bro, we're gonna knock that out in one weekend sitting. It's a wrap.
Speak for yourself, nigga. I'm gonna take my time with this. I am going to enjoy.
Catch the 10 hours out.
Yep, I'm gonna enjoy playing. I'm gonna go do all the things black dudes do. I'm gonna go to Harlem. I'm finna go try to get Miles to listen to a Biggie album. I'm gonna go stop some crime. Screw that. If it's 10 hours, I'm finna do everything.
It's probably not even collectibles. There's probably nothing to collect. It's just just do the missions. Any side missions?
Nope. Really? You don't get no collectibles?
It's a giant map of New York with one icon on it. Just campaign.
Story. You got story.
Nope.
You got story, home, fast tracks. That's all you get.
None of that. Just
to the mission you go.
Ain't no black cat. Ain't no appearances.
Nope. No appearances, sir. You can see those in the mission.
No hinting at Gwen Stacy. None of that. No hinting at Spider-Gwen. Nothing.
They're just fighting a nigga named Villain. It's like you didn't even give him a name.
Nope. But you know we can hit. You know we can hit too. It's next mission you got to go on. Come on. Keep it going. But no, I did see Rhino in there. I did see Prowler making an appearance in here, and so I do look forward to seeing some of the. I think we're going to see a lot more of kind of like, not to say B-list villains, but the ones we don't particularly get a good shine of. I think we're going to start to see that in here. We may see Craven in here. I'm not sure, but it is going to be up to y'all to let us know, was Miles Morales being greater, or did they cut him short with the 10 hours? You let us know in the comments below. Also, let us know your experiences for those who have the Xbox, for those who have the PlayStation 5, or for those that have both. Let us know, how do you feel about the new generation of video game consoles that have now been released? But ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode.
Oh, wait, Cleo, you got something to say real quick?
Oh, cool. My phone.
Got one more thing. Can you pull up that last image you had with Spider Kitty really quick? This is a small detail. Small, and it's probably insignificant, but for a sneakerhead, of course, the Spider Kitty.
Oh, did he have J's on?
Oh, damn it. Hold on.
I thought that was Vans.
Pat, listen, in the Into the Spider-Verse film, Miles Morales has on a pair of Jordans, Air Jordan 1s. Do you remember that
fire ones?
That poster of him falling with those J's, and you see it, pause it. In the game, they Marvel, Insomniac, they actually teamed up to make a Spider-Man high top Adidas Superstar sneaker. These are available. I don't know if they're going to be available as far as for purchase or for giveaway, but he's wearing high top Superstar Adidas sneakers. Now, it's a small detail. It's very insignificant. But I would have still preferred Miles Morales in the J's because I saw him wear the J's in the movie.
Those look like Doc Martens. Those are butt.
Right? You made me cut my ending to show these bullshits.
They probably didn't want to pay for that Jordan license though.
Well, if you want the shit slinger 16s, then, look out for these next year. God, I hope no one chooses this suit. I'm not choosing this suit, I swear. Just because of these shoes, I'm not.
Here you go. This is the ones that we had in the movies.
But you actually can get that suit. Well, no, not this one. His full suit you can get. if you
He
pre-order.
won't have the shoes though. He ain't
It
got
will not
J's
have the
on.
shoes. Yes. Just to know, it's not this outfit. It is him in the full black and red Spider-Man suit. Not the
Give
one.
him Tim's.
Tim's would be
Give him a pair of butters. Give him the yutters.
Give him
Give
the
him
wheat.
butters.
Give him them wheats, man. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of the Arcade Tokens podcast. We want to thank y'all for tuning in. We want to thank y'all for always supporting. Make sure you hit, if you are watching the video version of this on our YouTube, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you follow and subscribe. If you are listening to this on our streaming audio platforms, thank you so much. Continue to do so. Continue to let us know and give us ideas about in your comments on how things are going. Be sure to follow us on all our social medias and our Twitches. That's twitch.tv/the arcade tokens, and of course our personal channels, twitch.tv/Cleo Thomas, /Patrick Cloud, /Cathadius, and also /Will Farrow. We have been the Arcade Tokens, and this has been the Arcade Tokens podcast. I am the anomaly Will Farrow.
Cleo Thomas, aka Mr. Slick Living.
I'm Patrick Cloud.
And we will catch you next time.